Welcome to the iNetrepreneur Radio Show. We are so honored to bring you your host, the ultimate celebritypreneur, connecting businesses and celebrities worldwide. Winner of the Networking Organization of the Year, best-selling author, magazine publisher, trainer, and owner and founder of Network Together and the iNetrepreneur Media Network for magazines, TV, and radio network. We're excited to bring you your host, Mr. Robert W. Jones.
All right, welcome everyone to the show this week. Last week we had this crazy thing going on, and here we are in the wonderful world of Phoenix, Arizona. It's that maverick state where we live in our own, time zones. It's called the Arizona time zone. So sometimes we're on Pacific, sometimes we're on Mountain, and I think we're going to be coming up on the Pacific time frame here this weekend. But you know what do I know? I'm just glad that you're here with us today, and we get to talk a little bit about some, iNetrepreneur house cleaning, some great stuff coming up. I want to remind everyone that we have our forthcoming #1 international best-selling book series, The Art of Connection. We're coming out with volume 4. See the 4 fingers right there, 4 fingers. Volume 4 is going to be coming out. It's called 365 Days of Gratitude Quotes by Entrepreneurs, Business Owners, and Influencers. And we really want you to get in this book. The last 3 books have won over 111 international best-selling achievements. And you can find us from Barnes & Noble to Goodreads to Amazon to, heck, you might even see me on the road and I can sell you one right out of my trunk. So at any rate, please, get with me. We have two great wonderful friends and colleagues coming on to the show today, and I can't wait for that. I also want to remind everyone about our ntevents.net. That's NT for Network Together. That was the old name of the company before iNetrepreneur Network. You can go there for our pop-up events, our academy classes, our meetings, our chapters, et cetera, et cetera. You just go there for everything that we have going on. We put over 1,000 meetings and events together for you so you can go out there and develop your art of connection. Please go to Facebook. You can like us at facebook.com/iNetrepreneur Radio. Yes, /iNetrepreneur Radio. And if you don't know how to spell it, just get your phone camera out, take a click on it, and then just bookmark it. So that is the great way that I know how to do it. Also, we just came out with our new magazine for March. It's iNetrepreneur Network Magazine. We also produce the Contemporary Woman Magazine. You can go to the websites at contemporarywoman.com or iNetrepreneurmagazine.com. And our latest issue, we have Angel Marie Monicelli. She is our cover jumping artist. So if you look at the website, you'll see her jumping across the cover of that magazine that we have out there. So again, I'm really excited for everyone that's here today, and we're going to dive into some things that I really, really love, and I'm going to come with my first guest, my longtime friend, my confidant, my everything's better with her letter. That's how I live my life with her, and that is Miss Jaclyn Zoccoli. Jackie, how are you doing?
Oh, better all the time. All I have to do is look at Robert, and I'm excited.
Oh my gosh! Jackie, all I have to do is look at Jackie, and I'm excited. And I say that with a lot of meaningfulness. I always look around the holiday times, and I love to open up my mailbox because I always want to see what has Jackie done for me this year. From personalized notes to beautiful handcrafted bookmarks to just the opportunity of you sharing your uniqueness, your unique perspective on the world. And I love that each and every year, Jackie. It's one of the things I've looked to, and I think I have a sock drawer with your items in it, and I think I have 8 years of Jaclyn Zoccoli next to my socks. So I just wanted you to know that you're in a special place, in my heart.
We really should make bookmarks for the books, huh?
We really could make some bookmarks for the books.
Yeah, we just laminate them and put them in with the books and add a couple of bucks.
Look at that! Look at that!
Yeah, I could easily do that. All you have to do is to tell me what you want them, and they get a bookmark with their own little face. Never mind. We'll go into all that later.
We could. I think we'll have a cottage industry just making bookmarks for the Art of Connection series. What do you think?
Yeah, sounds good.
Jackie, you and I have known each other for so long. I haven't done this in a long time, but you know how I always like in network to say, let's talk about your who and your why before we get to your what and your how. And I really haven't done that with you for quite some time. We usually just dig into, alliances or LinkedIn or, connecting better, creating relationships. But this time around, it's been quite some time. I really want to go back a little bit and let's talk a little bit about your early experiences because we may know the great Jackie Zoccoli, but not everyone knows that you were at one time you worked with the Peace Corps and you lived in Liberia. And there's actually a few unique things that you observed during that time frame. And I just wanted to share how that really changed your world and your worldview on how you see community.
Well, yeah, it really did, and it took me well, at the time I understood it, but it took me about 50 years to really put it into a better perspective. I know that's crazy, but it took 50 years for it to manifest into what it is now in my life. The things that I learned the most were the people from other cultures, they may be very different, but I never, ever, ever felt unwelcome in that culture. And as you've said so many times in all that you do, all you have to do is the smile.
Hmm.
And the smile was the international way of bringing in one culture to the other. So even though I was not approaching them in the same way I would today because of my now background, I was as a teacher at the time. I still see a culture that was very open, that was not at want. They
Hmm.
had what they needed, they worked hard to get it, and mostly that they accepted me, and I felt safer even at that time and probably now walking down their streets than I would on some of our own.
You
So
know,
those were the things that I felt were very important, and I learned to appreciate my own culture and the freedoms and the liberties that we had. When you see your own culture from a distance, and every time I see a flag, I salute it because I'm so proud of being part of my country and being able to show them who we are. That was part of my purpose.
well, and I think that's very special. And for me, it gives me goosebumps when you say that. I spent 6 years in the United States Marine Corps from '83 to '89, and proudly serving my country. And the price of freedom, is not free. It does take a lot of women and men, all across the world to give us what we have. And sometimes we get so bubble wrapped in our own society, and we many times we go after our wants. We don't understand that there's also needs in there, the ability to have a safe place to live, the ability to eat good quality food, to drink good quality water, to grow up and have a great education. And I think that that's what makes you very special is you know being able to see other cultures, being able to meet with people around the world at this time. It always starts with those first few words. Hi, my name is Jackie Zoccoli, and it's I'm really excited about meeting you today, with a smile. And I think sometimes it's so underrated. And when you walk out the door sometimes, and we are so pressed for time and whatnot, we forget those little things that just show our open doors to each other, don't we?
Yeah. Yeah. And it is that simple, really, is a smile and to listen. And that's really all that really matters, and to find out what their needs are. And again, it doesn't matter the culture. Those are definitely, and I mentor in 12 countries at this point, and it's all the same common bond on that. And the biggest thing also is that they appreciate what I do. They just love my openness and be able to bring resources. So it really has gone a whole different plane since some 50 years ago that I was there.
Well, and it's really interesting. You know, when it comes to connecting, and you and I, we came from 10 years ago, that world of getting to give a hug, to give a, well, I was learning how to give hugs when you met me. You were teaching me how to give hugs, because I mean, I was a computer programmer, I was a coder. I mean, this
Yeah,
was a
you don't do
whole,
that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, this was like so
Yeah.
different for me. I mean, I was kind of shocked. I still remember Dr. Wayne, a good friend of yours and mine, and he said, when I used to start the meetings, I read into my notes and I didn't actually look out to the audience to engage, and create attraction. And so I had to grow into this, Jackie. Maybe some people, they're natural orators, they're natural speakers, they're natural entertainers. I didn't really have a lot of that when it came to the impersonal, skills. Could I get up on stage? Absolutely. Could I be in character? You bet. But when it actually came to me, and I had to take that clothing off, so to speak. It was very, very hard. And I remember one time, and we were at the old Hub website, and she goes, Robert, you told me this. She said, just be yourself. Just be yourself. And if they don't like you, that's okay. And I remember that a long time ago, because I was really struggling with, like, what type of person I should be. And quite frankly, you kind of came up to me and said, just be you. It's just as easy as that. No one can be as good as you are if you just are who you are. And that was one of the first lessons that I learned from you, Jackie, when it comes to this, business that's called networking. You know, and the other thing that I love about you is, when you came in, you had this very abundant and sharing, philosophy. Was some of that maybe cultivated or nurtured from your time in Liberia? Or were there other mentors and people that came into your life that helped nurture that as well?
That's a question I've never had asked before. I don't know that the Peace Corps really was the part of that, except we were there to give. We were there to teach, to help them understand another culture, and to give them an education. I'm not so sure. There were other people on my path, of course, that got me to where I am, those that explained that I was here to change humanity, and that threw me into the
Yeah,
path of actually manifesting Global Solutions Group, which is my other part of my company. And that really got me into finding ways in other countries to take my resources. When I was asking countries, they needed this, and this. And I said, God, what do I do? I have all the answers. I have all
yeah.
those people.
But
And
but
so that started it. But I'm not
but,
so
but
sure it was completely the Peace Corps, but it might
well,
have. I mean, we were there to give, but
yeah. But I think that becomes a natural thing. And I want to say, when it comes to your alliances, that's actually even been nurtured in the way that you view it over the years. Maybe alliances those of women, maybe alliances those of seniors, maybe alliances those of parents, or businesses, or you know and I think each and every one of those, there's actually even a subculture between each one. And I think, one of the remarkable things that you have, you have a way of bridging, you know communities within themselves and through each other. You have the ability of playing that shell game, where you can connect the dots where others may not to. And so I do think, because you give away something before you expect to receive anything. You understand the trajectory of what relationships are versus transactions. And I think that people also understand that, you come from, a place of, love and prosperity and peace. These are kind of the tenets you come from. But when it comes into this crazy world of business, where if you're an entrepreneur, you got to profit, you got to make your profit. In what way do you bridge these, when people hear this message over here, but yet you're also saying this can work for you, Mr. and Mrs., entrepreneur. And this is how these alliances work. And I can show you how, because sometimes it's very alien or foreign to people, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I have people trying to figure out all the time. Just yesterday, she goes, and I said, "Try it on. Just, just try it on." And she finally, by the end of the conversation, had her eyes wide open and said, "This is a completely different perspective. This, well, it kind of, Robert. I'll throw this in, and this might be of interest. I'm
Yeah.
not sure if I've told you more than 6 times. When I first started my business, I was scared to death. The concept was I really have to talk to people and beg for food. I have to grovel for food. That's what I felt like. I was groveling for food. I had to tell them to buy what I'm doing. And I didn't like it. My mother
Mhm.
said, don't talk to strangers. So why the heck am I doing this? And then I realized that every person I met knew 600 people easily. And today it's at least twice that. And I realized, if I really got to know one person, and they knew that many, the chances of me getting a lot of clients was really pretty good. And then I realized that I didn't have to buy their product. I didn't have to get the insurance. I didn't have to buy whatever it was they were selling. If I just kept three things in mind: what is their expertise? What is their need? And who would be a good alliance for them?
Mhm.
When I had that insight, it was all a give, give, give proposition. And you and I both know that giving is what brings it back to you. So as long as I kept trying to find people to fill that need, and I would usually have alliances or people that are trying to target the same audience, it wasn't all about me buying anything. It wasn't going to cost me a fortune, because what I was doing was I was starting a relationship. I was starting a relationship, and
And
that really made a big difference.
and it really is it's interesting because, for many of the people that you and I talk to, they understand the expertise. They understand that they have a need to fill. But where sometimes it breaks down is that whole concept of, what does an alliance look like? And, how do I build my alliances? you know and at the end of the day, does it really turn into profit for my company? you know and I know the short answer is yes, but explain a little bit deeper about, how do you make this connective tissue between people, and how does it profit you and the people that you connect?
It is a difficult thought. It is kind of a tightrope. The whole concept is to give as much as you can, keeping all that is of your expertise, to be able to show someone else that you are worthy of their database or
Hmm.
influence or whatever it is. And what I am learning and I'm teaching now for the first time, really, I think, well, is leveraging the people you call alliances, what they've kind of been a title. Well, they support me by giving me a referral. Well, that's not enough. But how can you leverage that? Say, I'll work with you in LinkedIn. And there are all kinds of ways to do that that people aren't even thinking about. It was enough to convince them they needed to have an alliance. That was my first hurdle.
Hmm.
Once they realized, God, this people knows all the people I want to know. Come on. Then how do you leverage? So I teach people what to do together. I'm doing a workshop on alliance leveraging coming up the end of the month. What do you do together so that LinkedIn and the whole world sees that you're together? You post together. How do you post? This is what you do. Different things, but it's the activities, because I found people didn't have a clue once they declared in an alliance. Now what? What the heck do
Hmm.
I do? So what? Big deal. It's not bringing me anything when you think about it. And the one thing that I'm finding really, really important is to see, I've got a group of wellness, excitement of awareness wellness group. and I'm teaching them to know what it is in their toolbox that they can give another person who has basically the same foundation that they do to help them become a team. So when you can add to a package, how many coaches we have? It's the flavor of the month. Give me a break. So if you can add to their offering, maybe you do the nitty-gritty to try to find out what happened in the trauma in their life. The others don't do that. They just empower them forward. Make it one package now. So how to build that together, because most of them don't have a clue. They might say, I commit to being an alliance, but now what? Now
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. I mean, how do they create that entourage? How do they create that commitment to
Exactly.
each other? How do they,
Exactly.
you know, one of the things that I like to look at to start is like be each other's best fans. And people will see that, if I'm raising up the flag for you and you're raising up the flag for me, and all of a sudden they feel the energy from what we're developing, that in itself attracts others, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And then when I tell you about my other alliances, yeah, now you learn who I know and the same back and forth. So all of a sudden it multiplies. It gets bigger and bigger because I want you to know the people I know because they're doing the same thing we're doing it, but a different way. So that one comes in. Oh, well, I know somebody like that. How about I introduce? So by the time you get through, you have what I call the A team. And I have an A team that I work with now, and they're 25 women. On the first and third Thursdays at 9:30 to 10:30, they post on each other's LinkedIn and they comment and they love it and they share it.
Yep.
Logarithm loves it. LinkedIn goes crazy. That's leveraging.
Yeah. That is teamwork.
That's right.
That is togetherness. And it's like my
That's
son
right.
once said, why was the old company called Network Together? Because it's far better, to network together than it is to
Apart.
network apart. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You, you know, the other place that you really developed your craft though, Jackie, is you know, when I met you, it was about word of mouth marketing, getting people to be those advocates. And I am not surprised that you're able to transition this knowledge, in action from an in-person environment to this whole
Mhm.
digital world. Now you just have a bigger megaphone, to scream out to. And I think that you have, you do a wonderful, great job of that. But there are people out there, and they still have trepidation. They still have a little fear. They still have a disbelief that you can actually create nurturing relationships with people that you've never met. I think that that's hogwash. I go out there and meet, but I think it's it's both. When you have word of mouth marketing, there's a little bit of courtship there. And I think in the digital world, there's a little bit of courtship that's needed there as well. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, yeah. It is the art of connection. Really stop and think of it. It is an art. It is a science. And there's so much, we were hit between the eyes. We were hit between the eyes when we had to go virtual. You're right. I was delighted. It's the best thing that ever happened to me. But the point is, a lot of people, you're right, they're scared to death and they don't know how to say what they're doing. They don't know how to deliver the message so they get alliances, not necessarily customers, because alliances are going to bring them more. But the point is, yes, it was a whole new craft that they had to learn. And it's the message and the background and the
Yes,
appearance, all of this whole big thing.
absolutely. And that's what I continue to say. You can't hire your voice away. At the end of the day, it's your message that needs to be amplified. At the end of the day, the amplification of that message is going to come back to you at some time. And I think too much of the time in our industry, we tend to think that something or something else is we just pay for it and everything's going to come back to it. But at the end of the day, all the technology that's sitting right now in between you and me, Jackie, does not create a retainable, sustainable relationship, does it?
You're absolutely right. However, it's a little bit hard to escape when you're this close to somebody that you weren't before.
Mm-hmm.
So it's your authentic self. And that scares a lot of people. Whoa, I can't hide behind and listen to everybody that's doing this thing because they're asking me to do that. That's scary. That's really scary. So it's your message. It's really knowing what it is,
Mm-hmm.
who it is you want. Both of them. What is your why? We go back to the why. We always go back to the why.
Always go back to the
And
why. Yep.
unless you understand your why and your audience and what you present and why they want it and the results and the emotions, all of that kind of good stuff. So it's a training, and you have to be totally sincere and authentic, or people are going to see right through you. It's
Mm-hmm.
really obvious right through you.
And and for me, I mean, one tip I'm going to give out there, if you're looking at connecting and creating a relationship, you have the ability to go to their profile and see who they are before you meet with them.
Mhm.
And I will tell you, I don't know how many times, someone has said to me, "You read my profile? You know that?" It's almost like a shock to them, but if you take little things like you're reading that profile, having a conversation without expectation, you know looking through some commonalities, maybe offering them some areas, and it could be an advice toolkit, it could be an association toolkit, it could be like, oh, I have a friend in need toolkit, it could be so many other things. When we say give, it doesn't mean, oh, we're going to an ebook or sign them up to a newsletter that they didn't opt into, or they get a toaster oven that comes in the mail. Now it's their 10th one. I mean, we're talking, the give is in a place of their need or their want or their desire. It's not just, hey, I have too many widgets over here and I'm just going to, look like I'm giving. I have a real heart centered, approach to what I'm doing in my give. Wouldn't that be correct, Jackie?
Yeah, and the thing that's really beautiful about all of that I just realized as you were speaking is that LinkedIn has given you so many levels
Mm-hmm.
for the people that pay attention. That's one of the things I notice. If their profile, excuse me, sucks and they don't have anything up there, they should be coming to me. But
Yeah.
anyhow, the point is you can get so much out of that profile of seeing what they put into this world. This is what, and you should be, who I am. So
Yeah.
if you're smart, you've looked at the profile, you've looked at their website before you've even communicated with the connection, plus the fact of what is your tool that you're going to give them to make it worthwhile to pay attention to you. What's it
Yeah.
worth? So when you come, as that person did to you, Robert, they are
Mm-hmm.
astounded. It's another layer on the commonality thing, which is what builds
Absolutely.
the relationships. The more commonalities that you can have, the better and stronger the relationship. And you can find them all in LinkedIn. And then it's the differences, it's the uniqueness that you bring to the table that strong foundation holds down. And now, oh, you do this different, that's cool, my audience would love it. Oh, well, you do this, well, I'll be adding that to what I do. And then all of a sudden you have a team. You have a team, but you've got to
Yep.
do your homework, and LinkedIn has given you probably way too many ways. If you were to talk to Troy,
And
he'd be able to do that in spades. But the point is, when you do, sorry, I kind of fast forward. When you have so many tools, that's where
Mhm.
I come in to start with. I simplify them. I don't give you the whole insides of the clock.
Right.
I give you the time.
Yep.
and you
You
can
know, so
understand it.
so we're coming down to the
I
end. I'm
know
going to
you
have your
probably are
info.
done.
It's amazing, but you know, I was gonna ask for more, but in because of time, one thing, Jackie, one pop rock. That's what I learned from you. You
Yeah,
call them
some
the
pop
pop
rocks. Yeah,
rocks.
yeah.
I still use that like 8 years later. Drop a pop rock,
Yeah.
and one thing, one giveaway, one secret, that a person can do on their LinkedIn profile right now, that would just be gold for them, that they may not have thought of, or they may not do often, or they may never have even heard of. What is something that you could share with our business audience that they could do their LinkedIn profile right now that would create some excitement of awareness? Do you notice how I use that
Now you
excitement of awareness?
Yeah, the
That's
point
you.
is you put it into profile. I was just gonna make it general, so I really have to think now.
Oh,
Um, yes, exactly. So no, I think one of the biggest thing is that when they read about you and they see your picture, your title of what you say you are and
Mhm.
what you say you do should be as specific and as clean and concise as you can make it. You don't have to put your resume up there. And you, by the way, in that little picture of yourself, you can do a video. I don't know if you knew that. You can do a video in there so they can click on that video and be able to hear you as well as to see your title. So if someone says I'm a best-selling author and an international speaker, ho hum, you and only 16 million others. Now, when you know specifically your uniqueness, that little sauce. I don't know if you're a guru, if you're a um, star of, if you are a goddess. Make it fun. Nobody gave you the title but you. When I started out, and I won't go through it, when I started out, did I think I was going to be a LinkedIn and global collaborator? No, I was going to be a teacher because that's all the choice I had. The point is, you define who you are.
I love
Clean,
that. I love that.
concise. Let them know. And then they really want to know, the picture tells me, whoa, I'm curious. Now I'll look at your about.
Yep. Now, Jackie, I have your information scrolling across, and I also, for our audience, added your LinkedIn link that can
Thank you.
go to you so they can contact you. Because normally I say at this point, are there other ways that people can connect with you? And I'm pretty sure that you're going to want them to connect on that LinkedIn link, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah. And it isn't Jackie, it's Jaclyn. So
Yes,
that's one of
Jaclyn.
the things. Yeah, when it
Everyone
comes
out
to the
there,
when it comes
yeah,
to the LinkedIn, it's
yes.
under Jaclyn. So don't try to find Jackie. You probably won't find it, but it's under Jaclyn.
It's so hard for me to change that. It'd be like you starting to
You don't
call me
have to
Bob,
call
right?
me that. It just
I
that's
know.
where it is,
That
unless you're
is
going to
right.
write the check, then you can put it under Jaclyn. That would work.
Absolutely, absolutely. Jackie, thank you so much for being on the show today. I appreciate
Thank
you
you,
so
Robert.
much. And
Sweetheart.
again, you can reach Jackie by calling her at 480-708 1557, or email her even at Jackie. I have you as JACQUEZOCCOLI 88, and you spell Zoccoli like broccoli. I
With a
guess I
Z
think
and
that's
no R. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Well, again, Jackie, thank
Okay.
you so much
Thank
for
you
being
so
on the
much,
show
Robert.
today. I
Thank you.
appreciate you.
Okay. You too.
Wow. Was that cool or what? I was with Jaclyn Zoccoli, also known to me as Jackie Zoccoli. She's a global connector, LinkedIn, I say alliance specialist. Maybe I should call her a guru. And yes, you know what? I still think it's cool. You are an international best-selling author and speaker. And I don't care if there's 16 million other of them because there's like 6 billion people in the world. So that still rings special to me. So Jackie, thank you so much for being on the show today. And you know, if we didn't get enough LinkedIn, we are going to get more LinkedIn. And so I am really excited to bring in that not so boring LinkedIn guy, another former recovering programmer like me, Troy Hipolito. Troy, thank you for being on the show today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And Jackie had some gold nuggets, definitely for sure.
I know. I mean, it's like, you don't have to go very far to dig it, for Jackie's gold. It's already out there, is it not?
Wow. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, she is golden, platinum. Heck, she's titanium. To me, she's anything. I love Jackie. She's an amazing, not only just business associate and a partner, but a great friend. And that's what I really love about relationships and connecting is, sometimes, you start with the business, but you also end up with a true relationship. And that's what Jackie is to me and my wife. And Troy, it's been about a year for you and I. A year goes by with a snap of the fingers. And I still remember, talking and meeting with you at a grocery store, and I had my son with you, and I thought, how cool is this guy? He called me out, I answered it, and he's like, no, we can talk now. It's okay. I don't mind. I got, I'm a dad too. And all of a sudden we hit it off because here we are, just two dads, with our kids, just chatting with each other. And I told you, I said, you know what, you're stuck with me now, Troy.
Yeah, I didn't realize you were serious when you said that. So
no, I'm serious. You ask Jackie. If I say it, I'm pretty serious. So
you're on it,
again,
man. Yeah. And speaking of LinkedIn and networking and stuff, I have built so many great relationships from LinkedIn, and it's kind of the law of attraction. So you want to attract the right people that have the right mindset or the similar mindset as you do, and then it actually repels other people. And people say, well, how do you deal with all this back and forth and stuff like that? Well, your energy will kind of bring in the right audience, and that goes along with the relationship conversation you had with her.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, everyone, I'm with Troy Hipolito. He's a LinkedIn influencer, business coach, show host, best-selling author. I'm putting that in there, everyone. I mean, there might be 16 million of us, but I got the best authors in the world here today. And he is the owner of the Troy Agency. You can contact him at troy@thetroyagency.com or call him at 678 358 6903. And there's another reason why I like the name Troy. My son is named Troy.
Yeah, I figured that's the one reason why you wouldn't forget me.
How could I? Troy calls up. Troy calls up. I'm like, I got the, it's the Troy and Troy show. We may have to do that someday too. I've always said if you give kid, if you live right in your kids will live right more often than not. And I've learned so much from Troy. He helped me come up with the Art of Connection, book series. He helped me come up with the name of the first organization network together. And Jackie, talked about it earlier. He schooled all of us entrepreneurs one day. There's about 35 of us at a business event, and he raised his hand and he schooled us when I asked the question, what is the most important tool that an entrepreneur or business owner could bring to any room? Mm-hmm. And there he was. I asked like 5 people before them, and he just wanted the answer, and he says a smile. Mm-hmm. And I was blown away, and it shut the room up. And I asked Troy, I said, why a smile? And he says, he says, he looked at me and it says, because a smile means that you're open for business. Mm-hmm. And I said, is there anything else, Troy? And he's like, yeah, who wants to come up to someone who's frumpy and grumpy anyway? And I think that we can learn from that, not just in the personal environment, but what you're saying about LinkedIn. sometimes I truly believe that you can see through a person's profile by the way they write, the articles that they have, the shows that they have, if they live life with a smile or not. And I think that is the attraction construct that you're talking about.
I
And
had to learn how to smile
yeah,
because I have type A
yeah.
traits, and I was in the Army, and I grew up in a really rough environment. We didn't smile back then. We didn't smile. And then so for smile, it took me, because I have a creepy smile. So it took me a while to get it right. So it's not natural for everyone to do that, to hug and be friendly, because if you're not in that environment all the time, you're a little suspicious, and I'm
Well,
still a little suspicious of people that are too happy. Like,
well,
if there's
that's
a really
come on now.
super happy
Yeah.
all the time, you got to be angry sometimes. But you get what I'm saying. So for everyone out there that are introverts, it takes practice, and you just have to be honest and upfront. And so that honesty will come through, and that level of being authentic. So that's what I say: go out there and do the best you can and build good relationships.
Well, I want to say, you were in the Army. I was in the Marines. I want to say thank you for your service. I think that's very meaningful.
Thank you.
Without freedoms, we just don't have what we have in this country, and I want to say thank you for that. I know that you've worked with several Fortune 500 companies. You're a creative programmer. You worked on the UI and UX design, so that's like some front end things and some interface design. That's like, what are you seeing when you're when you're looking at things, right? And but it is a long road between where we were and how we had to evolve, and relationships really weren't on the top of my list. My thing was always mission driven. It was always job done. It was always get the project done within budget, within time frame, make the corporate hierarchy happy about it. And quite frankly, when you're in that environment, you really don't have that much time for relationships. And I tell people all the time. I'm like, why do programmers get their best work done at night? It's because we're all too busy arguing during the day. And it's and
it's a fight. It's a fight, definitely. And
it is.
You're designed to get something done, and there's a different personality. Just get it done versus communicating and working with other people so we all can get it done. And so the power of multiple individuals with the mind, with the kind of a hive mind, if you will, that good energy comes in, is a big deal. Because previously, when I had my IT company, we did some huge projects and I loved it and all this other stuff. But I had the ability to do a lot of jobs by myself. I mean, I was like 4 or 5 people, but nowadays to get things done, you have to have a partner. You have to have people to help you. You cannot do everything yourself.
Yeah.
Because if
you can't live in your own silo. You cannot live in your own silo now.
Well, the people they say that they're good at everything. Like, I'm good at a lot of things.
Yeah.
But I don't advertise that, because you know what it looks like? It looks like I'm a flea market. And I don't want them to come to me to purchase something of prestige and that works really, really well for them at a flea market. That's the wrong energy you give out.
Yeah. But one of the things that I like about you is you look at LinkedIn in your own unique way. You're very metric driven. You're very numbers driven. And that's not to say that you're just trying to play the numbers game, because you're not. But one of the things I like to say is you want to know the numbers because your impact statement affects your income statement. And and if you know the impact of the people who are coming to your show, like who they are, how long they stay, what engagement do they have, what is it that you're offering that they want more of, you can create more impact and they'll bring more people to you because you're serving them, whether it's a need, a want, or desire. Tell us about why you believe that metrics are so important to this new world that we're in.
Well, a lot of it is connecting the dots. There's as far as LinkedIn is concerned, anyway. There's a million different ways to skin a cat.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have to pick, a few channels and a few ways to do that. But the more eyes you have on you, and the more that your message is getting out on a regular basis, the more that people are going to see you, and the more people are going to know you, and more people are going to trust you. So that know, like, and trust, and I know that you guys hear it all the time, is true. And so I'll get a message out of the blue. I'll get a LinkedIn DM, says, yeah, I've been following your content for 8 months. I need what you
Right.
have. Well,
Yeah.
if I was not producing content or reaching out to people or have my own show, if they weren't aware of me, instead of Troy, the not so boring LinkedIn guy, it might have been Bob, the exciting LinkedIn guy, or Susan, someone else. It could be anyone, it could be anyone. But they selected me because I had a trust and a familiarity with that. And they said, you know what? He knows what he's doing and what he's talking about. And I can at least have a conversation, because I know that I'm not always a good fit. But my job is not to sell my services. My job is to lessen your pain. So
Yeah.
usually people come to me and they say, I have this problem. And if I can't solve it, shoot, I have a huge network. So I'm pretty sure I may know someone that can solve it. So it may be a messaging issue, or it may be delivering your email issue. Maybe your audience is not even on LinkedIn. So sometimes you need help to identify where that pain is. And I just say, look, I see what the issue is. Try this. Do A, B, and C. And there's only one of three things that's going to happen when you give without wanting reward. They'll do what you say, and it works, and they're happy. You put out good energy in the universe, and everyone's happy. When you help someone else, you actually feel good. And I don't know why. That's a psychology thing, The second thing that could happen, they fix it. They're serious about their business. And they look to the left and they look to the right. They say, there's 20 other things that are messed up here. I'm going to hire Troy to fix it, and they actually hire you, And the third is, you can pull a card saying if this helps you or not. They'll send you a recommendation. And other people tooting your horn is much better than you tooting your own horn, because you have how do you say, you're valid through proxy, if you will. So I always believe in coming from a place of service.
Yeah, and that's what I really love about you, Troy. And that's what I love about Jackie. And I believe that even within the LinkedIn community, it's almost like attorneys. It's so big now, and there's so many different areas of specialty. A business owner, especially a large business, could use multiple people working in different areas of LinkedIn. Even, there are some companies that have. I mean, look, Coca-Cola has like some, 800 and something brands. You think one LinkedIn expert could work on all those brands? No, of course not.
And in my company, I've done tons of Coca-Cola work. So they are huge.
Yeah, and that's kind of like one of the reasons why I bring it up. LinkedIn has evolved, and so has the entrepreneurs thinking of how to utilize LinkedIn. Like I myself, I'm gonna say it on the show. I work with you. I work with Jackie. I work with Ira Rosen with Mojo Global. I work with everyone, and I refer everyone, because there's even niches within the niches. And it's important, and someone's going to resonate with the personality, someone's going to resonate with the background, someone's going to have different commonalities, someone's going to have they're knowledge based versus nurturing based versus they just want the facts as a blueprint. We all have these different ways that we live and learn. But one of the things that when you work with your people, everyone has a challenge, of utilizing LinkedIn. In the clients that you come across, what is their biggest challenge that you find? Those who are successful versus those, who may not be as successful.
I'll tell you a little story. I got a new partner as of late, and I needed her. That was an alliance that turned to a partnership. And she's stronger on the sales. I'm stronger on, making sure the meetings go through, and we get all those bookings and stuff like that. And so we had a conversation, and we all have issues. We all have obstacles. So even when you come up, there's another obstacle in there you have to solve. And that obstacle is actually an opportunity. And so if you have an obstacle on LinkedIn or business in general, you want to see, how can I turn this into an opportunity? My obstacle was I was getting too many dang meetings, like 50 meetings a week. And it was ridiculous, right? And a lot of those were coffee meets and stuff. They weren't really strictly conversion type of meetings, business meetings, and
Right.
I need to get ahead of people, and I need to personally meet them, right? And so how do I duplicate that effort? Because these people need a problem solved now. They may not need my done for you type service or my concierge service. They may need something specific to them to ease their pain. And I just can't serve all of them. I said, you know what?
Yeah.
I wish we had something that I could help someone now. And she said, Catherine Nunez is my partner. She said, well, you mean like a society? And I said, a now society. And then we formed a partnership. We said, you know what? Let's create a private group where I can provide information in that group setting. And it solved the problem. It lowered my meetings. So Tuesdays and Thursdays are majority of my meetings now. It allowed people to get more value. And so LinkedIn and relationships and all that is really about, how do I provide value to others? And that's where you need to come from. So all this fancy stuff on LinkedIn, posting, direct messaging, conversations, video, networking strategies, they're all very valid, but the foundation really has to be, well, how can I bring my authentic self out and provide a value? And it's not a value to me. It's what's valuable to them. So you got to sometimes take yourself out of the equation. And a lot of people forget that. And if you can provide value, then you can have a vehicle to implement that value, whether it be posting or posting strategy or a direct messaging or a direct outreach type of strategy in order to convert. And I think that people have all these mechanics, but they don't have the foundation of providing that true value.
Well, and it's very interesting. So, because you're really bringing a lot of people in, and they can also bring their shared experiences in, and that share those perspectives. Actually, the group kind of creates a place where you're helping each other, because, whatever you're saying and whatever you're putting out there, like you said earlier, it's attracting someone, and they're attracting you. So everyone who's attracted to you, they're going to be like and similar themselves. And so by providing
they'll find something similar in you that they
yeah. Yeah, and I think that that's really important, and I think that you can, be on a LinkedIn treadmill for a long time, where you do the coffee chats, and all of a sudden, your job is meeting, but in a certain way there's not a productivity to that, because and everyone's different. My need next month may be different than my needs now. So those are
evolve.
always evolving. Those are always evolving, and that's one of the things about, like, designing, maybe algorithms, that develops the top end for a software as a service. Things evolve, and sometimes, it's really, many times you just got to get it to market to see, what's going to stick. And I think, the same way in LinkedIn, it's okay to test things and fail, because that fail is a great learning experience. And I think that that's one of the things that I see, Troy, is people, like they are in person, is like they are on LinkedIn. And if they're afraid to fail in person, they're going to be afraid to fail on LinkedIn, and they end up not trying, don't they?
Well, yes, it is true. Another thing to really realize, to sit down and think about, is what worked 6 months ago may not work now. So you got to go out there and put yourself out there, regardless of one thing blows up or another, And so mistakes will always be made. And sometimes something will happen and you had no idea. Like, why did I not get views on this post? And it might have been some kind of kinks, knee-jerk reaction from LinkedIn that has nothing to do with you. So I think people need to get out of their feelings. Get out of your feelings. Don't worry about it, because not every little post is going to be a success. But if you are doing things like a daily process consistently, and you're providing value consistently, and you have the right attitude and the right energy, you'll consistently bring in the right people. So it's like, if I bought a lottery ticket every single day, would I win every single day? That's ridiculous. And I'm not saying buy a lot of lottery tickets. I don't prescribe to that method, but you get what I'm saying. You don't expect everything to be a lottery winner. In other words, it's that consistent action. And so you have to go out there and be bold and just be real. And I'll give you an example for posting, right? I have a posting method. Of course, I have a lot of LinkedIn tricks and tips and did you know this? And this is a new feature. And that's always fun. But my Mondays and my Fridays are allocated for something special. My Mondays are, what did I screw up on? Or how did I fix someone else's problem? Or what did I discover that really helped me out? And so that is kind of a real problem solving type thing. My Fridays are about self-reflection, to think back, think forward, talk about life, things like that. Because at the end of the day, people work with people. And you don't want to see some mechanical machines and commercial thing. They want to, they watch my stuff because I'm a brand, just like you are. You are a brand. And they say, I like Robert. I want to watch Robert because I know the stuff that he gives me has a certain volume and a certain idea and a certain vibe, and his thoughts resonate with a lot of my thoughts, And so I think people need to think along those lines. How can you just be yourself, and then give out your person? And to be honest with you, I have a pretty dry personality. It's almost funny, and that's why I coined it "Not So Boring LinkedIn Guy," because I was kind of boring. I said, let me flip that on its head, and make fun of myself a little bit. And you have to. If you look at my profile really carefully, I have a little Easter egg in it. Where they have the
you do
the little gender reveal, the ones that are the identify as. I just said 5'6", identify as 6'5", like I'm a big, huge guy on LinkedIn, right?
Yep.
Because sometimes you have to be a little open, and sometimes a woman will look at that. And I have a call with a woman. She says, "That's so freaking hilarious," and that that's a conversation starter.
It is. And I don't want to get in here because this is the other thing that I'm getting at. And Jackie's learned this. I think you implement this. It really is not about perfection. It's about persistence. And and I think that that's what really drives audiences on LinkedIn is you're persistently showing up as yourself. You're doing it on Monday. They can understand and they attach themselves to the theme. Is it always different? Yes, but it's always under the same banner or theme. So there's a certain amount of expectation that people come to receive. Because I believe if you also jump too much, you lose the value of comfort food. People also become comfortable in the things that they really, really like. And, even in LinkedIn, I see a lot of people trying too many things as well. Sometimes they don't try anything. And then all of a sudden you see these other people, they're just trying everything. It's just like, oh my goodness, what's happening, this week. And I think, by the way that you work on your persistence and the way that you show up for your show and the way that you treat people, you do give a lot of concierge service to everyone that you bring into, your sphere of influence. And, that's what I appreciate about you. I'm looking for like you, I'm looking for Jackie, I'm looking for people like that, because that's also
if we can help each other. What are we doing?
Yeah, we're listening
because if I help you, let's just be honest.
Yep.
Even if I was a mean guy, even though this is hypothetically, I would still help you. Because if I'm helping you and you have a large network and I'm performing for you and doing whatever it is that I need to help you, you're going to reciprocate. And people that need what I have, they'll know me through you, and vice versa. So helping others is I would say this: business is a byproduct of helping others.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and serving others, it really is. So I just we're coming to the end of the show here. I'm going to have your information coming across here, Troy.
Oh, thanks.
Like I did with Jackie, just one pop rock, one gold nugget, however we want to term it. Just one thing that someone could do on LinkedIn right now that would a gift. What would be that radical change that they could do that might just create a little bit more glow stick for themselves?
Well, the first thing and most important thing is take action. All right. And you may have a plan, but make sure you consult someone with that plan so you know what you're doing. But take action and be consistent with that action over a period of time. Not everything's going to work, but people give up after a week. This is not a week thing. This is not a month thing. Sometimes it takes 2-3 months to see the traction. So you need to be in the game long enough to get some traction. So the thing I would say is take action.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you anymore. You have to put that action in place over a sustained period of time, and you will reap the rewards. Well, everyone, I am here with Troy Hipolito. He's a LinkedIn influencer. He's a business coach. He's a show host. The Troy Agency, the Troy Show. I think it's called the Troy Show. Best-selling author and owner of the Troy Agency. Troy, thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate you. And let's do this along with Jackie again. Let's change LinkedIn for the better. What do you think of that?
I got to think about that. That's kind of thrown in my face, but we do need.
We will do it.
We do need to. We do need to help others.
Let's make it more of a relationship-oriented place. That is, we can make it a friendlier, happier face, and even you and I can smile now. So, thank you. Again, thank you so much for being on the show with me today. I appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you as well, Robert. I appreciate it.
All right, everyone. That was Troy Hipolito and Jaclyn Zoccoli, two, vastly different, but vastly similar, but in vastly great LinkedIn artists. I appreciate each one of them. Please reach out to them. Again, we're here. We're in that great state of Arizona. I think, next week it's going to be a different time for everyone else in the world, but us here in Arizona. We all have places to go and things to do, but you took your time to be in this place with us, and I want to say thank you for that. Have a great week, everyone, until I see you next Thursday. Bye-bye.
You've been watching the iNetrepreneur Show, a production of the iNetrepreneur Radio Network with host Robert W. Jones. Join Robert each week as he visits with new and exciting guests who inspire, teach, and mentor entrepreneurs worldwide. Follow Robert each Thursday at 1:30 p.m. Pacific, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, and 8:30 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time.